you perhaps maybe feeling the holiday blues? You're not alone. Loneliness right now may be more common than you think. So moments away, a mental health expert is joining us to explain the psychology behind it and, more importantly, giving us the tools to cope. Just about 9:08 right now. The holidays is, of course, a time of joy and connection, but that's not the case for everyone. For many, it can also be a lonely time.
Yeah, this time of year, loneliness may be a lot more common than you think. So Gina is in studio with a mental health expert to help us all understand the psychology behind, what they call the holiday blues.
Yes,
Gina.
exactly right. In fact, we're joined by psychotherapist Dr. Karen Ruskin. Dr. Karen, there's so many things this time of year that can trigger depression. So let's kind of run down some different scenarios, and maybe you can give us some tips on how to cope. So let's start with not being close to family. Maybe you're in Phoenix because you have a job and your family maybe is on the East Coast or somewhere else and you can't be with them for the holidays. What would you tell those who are lonely this time of the year for that reason?
Yes, and thank you for that. Let's first start with your question and address the fact that even if you have family here, sometimes people feel alone even in a room of many. And if you don't have family here, you feel alone because there's the thoughts of what you hoped was going to be for the holiday, there's memories of what was, there's hopes for what's going to be, and then there's these feelings inside one's head where one says, now this is never going to be. So it's the sadness of the past or the memories of the past and wishing it were now, and the worries for the future. So instead of rather enjoying what you have for the now, it's the pain of the loss of what you don't have.
Is that a matter of breaking down expectations then in your mind?
Well, it's a combination of there's expectations that affect our mental health and well-being because there's the hopes of what we would have and then we don't. Yet it's okay to have expectations and then help oneself to reassure oneself that even though expectations weren't met, what are my controllables? What can I do right now? Do I want to isolate? And do I want to, instead of viewing that negatively, spend some time with myself and really utilize this time in a nourishing self-love way? Or do I want to connect with others and gain new connections and new interactions, even though I don't have the family that I thought I was going to have in the now?
You know, another scenario, potential scenario that can trigger depression is if maybe you're not in the best financial situation right now. How do you recommend we cope with that?
Yes. So financial is another top factor that contributes to anxiety symptomology and depression over the holiday season, another top one. So when it comes to financials, it's important to remind yourself that even though the holiday season triggers feelings of, I'm supposed to have this, I should have this by now, I'm supposed to give somebody this, it should not. It doesn't have to be about stuff. Tangible. View it from the perspective of connection and emotional intimacy and joy of what you do have, not tangible items, simple things like literally things we take advantage. The fact that we can have a conversation, the fact that we can take a walk, etc.
Yeah, very quickly, because we're just about out of time. Let's talk about loss, grief, medical issues. Maybe you just had a recent breakup.
Yes. All of these are also contributing to why a person feels stress, anxiety, or depression. So remind yourself that this is not what's always going to be. A recent breakup doesn't mean what your future is going to be. Loss, grieving, medical issues. Fight for yourself. If you are experiencing medical issues, what are things that you can do to contribute? Again, control your controllables is the overarching theme of the messaging. Yes, control your controllables. What can you do to contribute to your health instead of just under the covers, there's nothing I can do. There's always something that we can do. Always.
Yeah, amen to that. Happy holidays to you and yours, Dr. Karen. Thanks for the good advice.